Hello, hello, I'm almost ready, I'm almost done. But I needed to add one more thing. Might add more later if I think of more things to add. And who knows? Maybe some of you can help me think of things. Hello. I think this might actually need to be a little bit bigger, a little bit more readable. Judging by the size of the text there. So let's do some last second adjustments. Let's do it like this. We can cut off a bit more off the top as well. There we go. Enhance! Yeah, a little bit more. Enhance. That's good enough, fuck it. So, hey friends. For those who haven't seen it, there's a couple of YouTubers among things, Alpharad is the one I saw, who have been rating their video game mains throughout whatever video games they've played based on certain criteria, and I might add more things here later. And it's kind of a more of an excuse to talk about all the main characters you played in a variety of video games and to just kind of put them on a graphic and bullshit about them. I will be hanging out in my voice chat on my Discord, so if friends want to ask me questions about things, feel free to hop on in. But other than that, let's scroll down to the first row of, to the first row, and we'll slowly see some things creep up at the bottom. Over there. I decided to put Borderlands characters up first, because that's a game where you select characters and play them. Borderlands is just a fun game that I've played multiple times over, especially 2. Borderlands 1 I've only played once in its entirety, and once like a couple of chapters. but, you know, elemental power lady. That just, you know, that's a character that appealed to me. The others was like Broodman, General Soldier Dude, and Sniper, and I'm like, give me the wacky shit. Give me the wacky powers, right? So I mostly just picked her because she seemed fun. Not specifically any other reason. Yeah, that's about it when it comes to Lilith, the Siren. Speaking of sirens, onto Borderlands 2 Siren, Maya. Maya's good. She's like, her ability is more easily usable. Of course, Borderlands 2 being just, in my opinion, a strictly better game. It's a nice progression of quality improvement there. It's fun. Plays roughly the same as Lilith, but it felt stronger, felt better. And then DLC character Gage came out. The Mechromancer. Summon big robot. Big robot flies around, buffs people, slashes at shit. If there's an enemy somewhere on the map that you don't know exactly where they're at, you just summon the robot and it'll find whatever enemy's alive and just kill them for you. You don't have to worry about it. At that point I was like, alright. With Maya, I knew what to do. I knew when to press my ability, knew what to shoot, how to build my character. Good shit. With Gage it was like, alright. This character's popping off, we're doing things, we're going crazy. Going absolutely insane. I believe she also had ricochet bullets, which was very fun on shotguns. I believe she had ricochet bullets if I remember correctly. So that was a great time. And then Borderlands 3 came around, which I still haven't beaten. Have not quite gotten around to completing that one, but I did like the character I played, Mose. She summons a mech that you can use with different weapons on it, and other players can hop on your mech and do additional things with that. Very creative, fun playstyle. So that's just, you know, little opening Borderlands segment. Let's next up do Monster Hunter weapons, huh? Up on your mech, tell you Borderlands, you got it. That's how you do it. So, when it comes to Monster Hunter, I basically immediately, when I started, picking the picking the weapon I wanted to play at, I picked dual blades, and it still is the weapon that I play the best. Just because I've had so much experience with it, but it's definitely been a big learning curve over time. This is dual blades from Monster Hunter World. But I've definitely branched out after my initial weapon. I've branched out to like most of the weapons in Monster Hunter. So I would say like, just because I have a more of a varied skill set than just the dual blades now, I'm not quite comfortable putting it all the way at the top. Dual blades is just like, yeah, I'm going nuts. This is the weapon that got me started on Monster Hunter. Still the one I feel most confident with when going up against a new monster. Like, if I want to be sure that I can take it, I'll probably use dual blades. But for a while I also mained bow. And I mained the bow because I couldn't get the ice dual blades to drop from Kolftaroth. That's the entire reason I picked up a second weapon in Monster Hunter, because I couldn't get the weapons I needed to fight Alatreon. And I did have the ice bow. So I thought, alright, time to learn a second weapon just so I can reliably fight Elatrion. And initially it was rough. But like initially I would have put it here. Just because the weapon is good. But like, I did get really good with the bow in World. I did really grow to love the bow over time. And it's definitely still my second best weapon in World. So then Dual Blades in Generations Ultimate. At this point I've played... What have I played in GU? I've played Dual Blades, Great Sword, Hunting Horn... something else, but I can't quite remember. Yeah, that one's just like... it's similar enough, I knew how the moves work. The Dual Blades feel a lot less swift than they did in World. Monster Hunter World really made Dual Blades the good shit. With the grinding down the monster's back, the Clutch Claw attack was really fun. And in Generations Ultimate it's just good, solid. Adept Dual Blades was very fun though. Just dodging through attacks and being perfectly fine with it. It's probably still my best GU weapon as well. But, I don't know, it doesn't feel as good as World Dual Blades does. Yeah, speaking of Sword and Shield, I did not expect... When I was thinking over all the main things I played in Monster Hunter games, I came to realize Sword and Shield was my main in Rise. Like, easily. Rise Sword and Shield is just peak. Just peak shit. There's nothing quite as satisfying as counter-attacking a tail-flipping Rathian, and then with the bonk downwards, hitting her in the face and KOing. Because I've done that more than once. Rise Sword and Shield is just like beyond insane. You can do so much cool shit with it. You can do the like shield only build and just be a better KO weapon than Hammer ever dreamed of being. It's so much you can do with the weapon in Rise. And then there's like all the other abilities that they added to Sword and Shield in Rise that are equally as good, but in my opinion not as fun as the Metsu. Sword and Shield in Rise is just... it's like... I would almost put it like at like it's in my god tier weapon. Let's you know what? Normally on tier lists I don't do the ordering thing, but I'm just gonna shuffle some things around. Because this feels good. To kind of be like, that's on the top in this category. So that's Monster Hunter. I also contemplated on putting something from Stories 2, Monster Hunter Stories 2 in it. But that game kind of is built around swapping your things a lot. So that doesn't quite feel like you could really have a main in there. Hey Zach! In case people just popped in, because I see the viewer count increase a little. We are talking about all of my video game mains over the course of many games that I've played. And I'm kind of just reminiscing about them. And placing them kind of on a grid of like, alright, this is how much I love them. Speaking of which... Assassin from Diablo 2. There's two classes in Diablo 2 that I like. two that I actually consider myself like maining those characters. That is Assassin and Necromancer, which we'll get around to. With Assassin, as much as I like the style of Assassin, it always felt a little bit lacking. Because the traps are really good. The physical stuff is workable. And then there's another talent tree that I don't even remember what it was, because who the fuck cares? I think Shadow Arts or whatever. But Assassin was cool and fun and enjoyable. It's not super great. Necromancer though is easily like one of those god tier classes in well, not quite godlike. That's like the big shit that I played. But Necromancer was definitely like the best thing I played in Diablo 2 with the most fun I've had. Both meme builds were plenty with Necro. And actually really good builds were like Bone Spirit and Bone Spear. The strat was like you Bone Prison, so you lock somebody into standing in one place, and then you just chuck spears at them. Or if they're got like a lot of movement shit, you would throw Bone Spirits, because those would follow enemies around. I never really... like, when I just played PvE stuff in Diablo 2, I did do the summoning builds, which is fun. In PvP, it's too much setup to do. Because you would find a place where you could easily kill enough to get your skeleton army maxed out. And then you would go to the place to do the PvP, and you get killed by a barbarian in one hit. And then your army is gone, you have to build your army again. But it's just the Bone Spirit build, perfectly fine. You get like the armor that got you the teleport from Sorceress to stay away. Good shit. And then I'm also gonna put Necromancer from Diablo 2, Diablo 3. I'm gonna put that kind of at the back of here, or more over here, I guess. Diablo 3 was great, fun. They tried to really rebuild Diablo 2's Necro, but it never really captured the same energy as Diablo 2 had with the Necro. And then Crusader from Diablo 3. I think that one I will put at the back of the going nuts tier. Because Crusader in Diablo 3 was overpowered as fuck. You would build Thorn's damage, and then there were like things that allowed you to like deal your Thorn's damage along with your attacking abilities. So either the enemy died because they hit you, or the enemy died to the damage of hitting you because you hit them with it. Super fun. Good shit. Hey, Crayon. We are ranking my main characters in video games. Yeah. I'm talking about him. So, next up, Awesomenauts characters. Still, I didn't get the PvP armor? Well, shit. Speaking of Final Fantasy XIV, we'll get around to my Final Fantasy XIV jobs later. Got some fun things lined up. Next up, Awesomenauts. For those who don't know Awesomenauts, let me pull up a screenshot. This'll do. Awesomenauts is a 2D MOBA. It's still very much playable. It just has nobody on the ladders. So if you were to do like with a group of friends playing versus each other, that should still be possible. You got like these turrets here, you have to break through them with your party members and the little drones that would attack and that shit. Really fun, really cool. Should I do them in order? I should do them in order of when I started maining them, which should be roughly this. Actually, this is more accurate. My very first Awesome Knots main was Gnaw. A little bitey boy. He planted little turrets down. He would do like an arcing poisonous spit. The poisonous spit, you could do a variety of things, like it either splits when you hit somebody with them, creating more poison around. You could have it drip through the platform. All sorts of shit you could do with it. Super fun, super strong. You could build insane amounts of poison damage, which would piss people off. My very first main in Awesome Knots, for sure. But, you know, just no more than felt good to play. I'll put him at the top of feeling good. Like, it felt good to play, doing well, building my ladder ranking. And then Vinny and Spike released. The pufferfish ridden by a plankton. Both very much mafia types with a very silly accent, voiced by the late Total Biscuit. May he rest in peace. But he did a fucking fantastic job voicing Vinny and Spike. And this has been my longest main character in Awesome Knots. And holy shit, did I did I become a straight up fucking bully with this character. My god, was I an absolute tyrant. Through playing Vinny and Spike, at the peak of the Awesome Knots player base, I reached consistently the top 200 players in Awesome Knots. Just cause Vinny and Spike was that much of a good fit for me. The best thing, and they eventually nerfed that into the ground. It had... You could buy an ability on his spike dash, which would create a spike both from the point where you initiated and the point where you end up. And for a while, the strat was to fly just above the enemy, to just dive bomb them, and then on the same spot use that ability against the floor, taking out like 80% of a character's health on average. So the squishiest characters would just straight up die doing that. Vinny and Spike was nuts. Eventually they nerfed it, and I had to play a little bit more methodical, but then I would still use this smoke cloud with like silence on it so that enemies couldn't use abilities, and you know, that sort of an annoyance while still doing good chunks of spike damage to them. Very fun. Very good shit. Vinny and Spike really is one of my best main characters I've played in video games. And then we get around to Scoop. The Scoop of Justice. It took me a while to get this character. But the reason I played him later on is because the team I played with, we really needed somebody to play tank characters, and the other two were tired of playing tank characters. So I played the self-sustaining paladin style tank character because we needed one. I did get pretty good at him eventually. This is the tank that worked the best for me. But it's definitely not a character I would have picked by myself. Next up, I believe his name is Scree or Scree? Was it just Scree? Yeah, it is Scree. S-K-R-E-E. This character, fucking hilarious fun. I would build him as an auto-attack character most of all, because he had this almost lock-on lightning zap that could also be chain lightninged You could do all sorts of shit with him. He had a saw blade that you put out, deals a chunk of damage, stays in place and chips damage for like rapid low damage, and then pull it back for another chunk of damage. And he could put a totem down which would block people's movement. So I would mostly just build auto attack and totem health, and then build into the saw blade. I would say I would put Scree like roughly here. I was very good at Scree. One of my best characters. He also had the movement thing of like hovering. You could keep him hovering in place, and so you could easily, if you jumped from the right spots, hang in spaces where some characters would just not be able to hit you all that much. Vinny and Spike had like the infinite jump sorta flying movement. And then like at the tail end of me playing Awesome Knots, they released Max Focus, who was this weird news reporter droid. He had like a shotgun camera. He had like a purely horizontal rapid fire ability, and this slow moving orb thing. It was very fun, and I would probably put him right above Nah here in terms of how good I was at him. Felt really good to play. You could... This thing had like pure free flight movement. You could hover anywhere and be fine and hide at the skybox if you wanted to hide from enemies. Very useful, very fun to play. I'm also noticing that a couple of my main characters had just like flying or hovering abilities. So that's Awesome Knots for my main characters. There were a few other characters that I played quite a bit, but I wouldn't quite if I call them my mains. There was Admiral Swiggins, the squid. It was really good. There were another couple that I played, but none of them really got... Yeah, Skuldir was like the first tank I played, because my team thought that that would be a good fit for me. I was fine at it. So, completely randomly and out of nowhere, I've got Heroes of Might and Magic 3's faction, the Elementals. Never a game I was good at. So I'm gonna put that in my I wish I was good at them. But that's more the game than the faction. Nibs and Penny, that's actually one of my teammates. He sometimes pops in for the stream as well. But yeah. Heroes of Might and Magic 3, very fun game, but I sucked at it, and I like the Elementals, because Elementals are cool. And now I got Toad from Mario Kart. I'm gonna have to, hold on, I'm gonna have to make a new tier for him. I'm gonna have to make a new tier. There we go, there. Give that a color. This, sure. This tier is... main but not by choice. So I played Toad in Mario Kart because my brother played Yoshi, and so I couldn't play Yoshi. Heroes of Might and Magic is brutal, yeah, it is. It's really hard. Yeah, I played Toad in Mario Kart because it was my second favorite. My brother always picked Yoshi, so I couldn't. If you're watching right now, I want you to know this is your fault. The next up, I got Mona from Shovel Knight Showdown. Yeah, Mona's waifu. Let's see. Let's see. I think I'll put Mona. Yeah, this tier is fine. Shovel Knight Showdown has a ton of really fun characters, and I've played them all a little bit. But I knew I wanted to play Mona, not specifically because I was any better at her, but because I think Mona's a very cool character from Shovel Knight. And so I ended up like speedrunning Shovel Knight Showdown saying, I'm just gonna want to be the best Mona player in the world. So while... Hold on. This one. While I might not have a world record at all in Shovel Knight Showdown, I am the highest rated Mona player. And that's what really matters. The world record holder, Shiny, actually DM'd me once about how dare you beat my Mona time. We had a fun little interaction about that. Beat it by like 16... yeah, no wait. Some amount of seconds. Basic math is hard. But yeah, here's like the world record holder's Mona run. And here I'm at. So yeah, Mona's really it's really good, really fun. Good shit. Next up, Sanji from One Piece Pirate Warriors. I couldn't really find another reason to put Sanji on the list. But I played One Piece Pirate Warriors and he's fun there. I'll put him in just for fun. Not per se because he was the best character I played. But he's funny. If you play Sanji in that game, and you go up against female characters, he will just randomly flinch and do less damage. Because he doesn't want to hurt women. It's very funny. Pyro from Team Fortress 2. I think I'll put him at the top of the feeling good list. I tried playing a variety of other characters, classes in Team Fortress 2. Sniper with the bow I found quite fun as well. Engineer on occasion. I tried being good at Scout, but there's just no way. And I've had some success with Demo Man and Soldier. But Pyro is always just gonna be the boy. Now over here we have Gambit from Marvel Heroes Omega, the Diablo-like game. And people are, I've heard, working on a private server. Trying to revive the game because it's been shut down completely and is unplayable currently. But boy, do I like a glass cannon.
Oh hey, did I ever tell you about the time
You know what? Yeah.
I saved the world from super monsters?
Do I love a glass cannon at times.
Pay attention.
Gambit and Marvel Heroes Omega was just so easy to build into like a long-range explosive card throw and just fucking go nuts. His ult was like a rapid-fire spam cards thing with a big explosion at the end as well. Good shit. I really hope the private servers for that game are a possible thing. So, WoW classes, World of Warcraft classes. My very first character in World of Warcraft was actually a hunter, as I was trying the game out on a friend's account. He borrowed me and my brother's account while he wasn't playing that much, to give us a taste of it, way back in my teenage years. And that was fun, but when I've got my own account, I made a gnome rogue. I wanted to be the littlest guy with the pointiest stabbers. And I played this character for a long time. But I'ma put him roughly behind the Awesome Knots characters in this tier. Because while it was fun playing Rogue, I didn't really feel like I was popping off till I played my Frost Death Knight. The Frost Death Knight, I think in between here feels good. Frost Death Knight was just like the DPS powerhouse. Initially a tank, of course, way back in the day. By the time I really mained Frost Death Knight, I'd like topped DPS lists on raids frequently. And I think it is because the other players were being lazy. But also Frost Death Knight was very fun. And then I got Priest here because Discipline Priest is my favorite healer. But I never really got to do incredibly much in raids or such. I did like some looking for raid things and the whatever you call it, dungeons. I forgot what they're called. The special dungeon thingies. And that was really cool. I really like Discipline Priest. But I think I'll... Actually, you should go here. I think Discipline Priest would be... Actually, in between these two is good. Guild Wars 2 Necromancer. This is a weird one, because I never intended to main Necromancer. It just kind of wound up that way. When I got back into Guild Wars 2 with, don't know exactly when it was. I think it was when End of Dragons released. Right before it or something. But I asked people in my chat, like, hey, what should my new character be? Because I want to start over with a new character. And then everybody voted for Necromancer, so I wound up playing it. And it is fun. But there are others that I kinda, at some point, want to put some time into to see what's up with that. So I'm not sure. You know what? No, this actually fits the main, but not by choice. Because I let other people choose it. I'll put him at top though. Now it's time for my Final Fantasy jobs. It is both very warm and I'm talking a lot, so this bottle of water is gonna empty out quick, I feel. So, Sage. Right from the get-go, when I started playing Final Fantasy XIV, I knew I wanted to play Sage. It is the one that immediately appealed to me due to my love for Discipline Priest in WoW. Because it felt like there were some similarities there, which is really cool. But I've played it a lot more. And I'm pretty good at Sage, I would say. I think with Sage, Like, I played Arcanist into Summoner all the way up till Sage. And I think the moment I got Sage, I was actually popping off. I was going nuts. So I think I'll put it like right above Death Knight here. And then of course I wanted to play a tank. And I found... I'm just gonna put it right up here next to Sage. I'm gonna put Gunbreaker there. These are like basically equal to me in terms of being my mains. Gunbreaker just feels good. Pressing buttons is fun. Pressing more buttons is more fun. And in the upcoming expansion soon, I'm gonna be able to press even more buttons. So I'm really looking forward to more buttons on the thing that I like because it presses more buttons. And on the topic of pressing more buttons, Machinist is probably my most played at this point DPS. It is the one I got the Manderville weapon for as well. I'm gonna put it at the top of doing good. Because I think, while it is my favorite DPS and I'm decent at it, I don't think it quite comes close into saying that I actually went nuts with it. And I put Pictomancer here, not because it's out yet, but it will be soon. And I think for Pictomancer I need a new tier. Make this one gray. Please, oh please God be good. I'm begging you. Alright. No, I'll rename it to Soon TM. That makes more sense. Soon enough, I'll be a Pictomancer mate. There we go. That's that. Why are you saying? Add Soon TM to dictionary. Great. So, Risk of Rain 2. We're done with Final Fantasy XIV for now. Risk of Rain 2, Artificer. If I wanna win a run, I pick Artificer. That's where I'm at with Artificer. If I wanna just play through the game and I wanna guarantee that I win, I'll play Artificer. The freezing attacks stun lock the final boss. If you get enough backup mags, or I think Hardlight Afterburner is the one that gets you additional ice walls because of the way that abilities are laid out, then the final boss doesn't do shit. The more things I found out about Artificer over time made me realize that if I really just want to win, I just pick Artificer. Godlike. So good. And Void Fiend. I wish that making Void Fiend work required less leaving items on the floor. Because you want to manage your power gauge on Void Fiend. You want to be able to decide when you go into your powered mode and not be forced to transform and locked in place all the time. If I play multiplayer with people, and it's not in a randomizer where you get auto-assigned items, then Void Fiend is awesome. But if you play solo or in a randomizer, you just get stuck with a bunch of healing items that you don't want. I'll still put it in like the feeling good. Probably around here. Void Fiend feels awesome to play if you just play multiplayer with a friend. Good shit. Next up, Heroes of the Storm characters. Oh boy. And some of the portraits slowly scrolling up are starting to be interesting now, because there are some interesting ones down there. I think my very first main was Nova. I think Nova and Zeratul, but technically I've played Nova more. And that's because Nova was just overpowered. The Nova goes into the just because they're a good character. I played her because I needed more characters to play, and then I realized that one-shotting enemies is pretty strong, so I just did that for a while. Until she eventually got nerfed. But before she got nerfed, Sylvanas came out. And I wouldn't call her my main anymore when I play the character, because she's been changed a lot. But initially Sylvanas was like all the way over here. She was such a fucking menace and could do anything. So if we're basing this off of my memories of who the character was in the early days of Heroes of the Storm, she'd be right up there. If we go by right now, I'll put her like the feeling good. It's still a good character. But boy, has she been kneecapped. Then we're going into Zul, the Necromancer. With a good healer supporting me, I can do a lot of shit with Zul. With a good tank soaking up damage, I'm great, doing wonderfully. But if you're in a team where it's every man for themselves, shit gets rough. But I'm gonna base this off of how it goes when I'm positive, when I've got a good team. And Zul really goes... yeah, right up here. Zul is awesome. Very fucking good. Very fun. Alright. Stukov, and now we're getting into my healer arc. I need to swap these around for a sec. Now we're getting into my healer arc, where I like to play healers, but healing is a byproduct, man. When I play Stukov in Heroes of the Storm, I'm more so support than healer. I slow shit down. I beat things up. I shove things away. And the healing, I just do the thing where it just keeps spreading forever, so I don't have to worry about it. I think my Stukov is like slightly better than my Zul. Still going quite hot, quite nuts playing Stukov. And now let's do this other way around. This is part of my healer arc, but this character, I would have talked about Arya later. Let's talk about Orphea. The character that is not, that is weirdly enough an original character in a game all about non-original characters. But Orphea is insane. Goes right up here. When I play Orphea, the slappening is happening. Those weird goopy void tendrils are gonna go slapping on things and everything dies. Orphea is so strong. and very fun and fluid to play with. And then we all knew this was gonna happen. Let's put Ariel right up here. let's put the healer character right at the top. Right at the top of the list. Ariel is like, it's like somebody who's like, hey, let's make a character for that guy over there. Let's make a healer character that bullies the enemies. I support my team by destroying shit. The enemies are gonna hug all of the walls. They're not gonna move a lot, and they're gonna take big fat chunks of damage. And if they kill me, no they didn't. I got the upgraded resurrection. I can res myself, baby. I'm back. Causing trouble right away. Ariel really is my favorite fucking healer character in any video game. No mana to manage. You just have to deal damage. You're somewhere near one of your allies. It's awesome. Ariel is the good shit. Let's go to StarCraft 2 co-op commander Mirahan and Horner. Yeah, right up here. Weirdly enough, I've never been a Terran player in StarCraft. But co-op commanders work differently. It's like every single one is an entirely different faction. And Han and Horner just have the nice property of your barracksy structures are also flying battleships. So you just move all your production into your army onto the enemies. So you just produce units on the go. And then my favorite thing is the Reapers that you build, which are normally ground-to-ground units. They give you a jetpack ability that allows them to be air-to-air units. They can still attack buildings on the ground with grenades. But because they're flying units, and how flying units in StarCraft 2 work, you can have this large blob of units condense onto like one tiny little spot, move them on towards an enemy, and just one-shot everything. Han and Horner are super fun to play. And then we go into StarCraft 1 first. I'm thinking about it. In StarCraft 1 I played Protoss better. It was never insanely good or anything. StarCraft 1. So just for fun. Never really was insanely good at StarCraft 1. Protoss was fun. I wanted to be good. I tried for years to be good at Zerg in StarCraft 1. But the control groups are just too limiting in that game to easily manage buildings and production, especially the size of Zerg armies. Zerg in StarCraft 1 is so micro-intensive. Now I got the Zerg logo here because in StarCraft 2 I did play Zerg. And in StarCraft 2, Zerg was the good shit. I'll put it right up here to doing good, feeling good. I got to like about Silver Gold League in StarCraft 2, so not super good. But it still felt really fun to play. And then I have the Night Elves from Warcraft 3. I'll also put that in the just for fun category. Actually do... Nah, this is pretty accurate like this. I was also never really good at StarCraft or at Warcraft 3. But Night Elves were fun. I also played Undead. Orcs and humans felt too simple and basic to me. And then the Nod. The Hand of Nod. From the Command & Conquer series. That's a difficult one to place, actually. I put it on the list, but like... Was I good at it? I wasn't bad at it. Make a new tier. Alright. It was alright. Just I liked the game. It was alright. I played it fine. Let's actually put these 3 RTS factions side by side there. Advance Wars! We got 2 commanders in Advance Wars there, but technically neither of them are like high tier commanders. They're both like low use rate in their own respective tiers. But I find them to be cool. I'd really like Lash. Her gimmick is also really fun. But she's not super strong. I'm gonna put her in this just for fun. And then we have Jess, one of my wonderful waifus in video games. Now, I'll put her at the bottom of this tier, the feeling good. Because there are some decent uses for Jess, just she's very map dependent. Flash is also very map dependent, but harder to use as well. Now we get into fighting games. Here's the fighting games that I played. Oh boy! Let's start with Mortal Kombat 2. And I played Reptile. Alright. Wasn't really good at Mortal Kombat 2, but I liked Reptile. He was green. And I like reptiles, as in the animal group. Mortal Kombat 3, Kung Lao. That's alright. I guess I just wasn't really good at Mortal Kombat. I guess I just wasn't really good at Mortal Kombat at all.
Go for a walk, watch a movie.
But I liked the Reptile in 2, and Kung Lao had a big hat that he threw.
Just telling me about that
And he was graphically fun with the hat.
You know what? Fuck it.
Anyway, Testament. So in Guilty Gear Strive, I could technically put a couple of characters up there. But Testament's the only one that I really practiced. I might need another tier. However, I haven't played the game enough to really have a solid opinion there, so just gotta put it at the put Testament at the bottom of the feeling good. I can do Quarter Circle, so I can play Testament, and I think they are a really cool designed character. Other characters from Guilty Gear that I like now are Alpharad and Axel. But I haven't really played them enough. Also, I like Johnny, but Johnny feels more difficult to play. I wouldn't really call any of those my main yet, though. So, Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I just put the 3 characters that I put in my team there. I was never good at fighting games. But boy did I love that I could play Gambit and Mega Man on the same team. Man, do I love playing Gambit and Mega Man. I'm just gonna put all 3 of them in the I wish I was good at them tier. Because I wish I was good at Marvel vs. Capcom. But like Gambit's so fun, Mega Man had some really fun things. And you might think, who the fuck is this? This is Hayato. Why is Hayato there? What is he even from? A lot of characters would ask. And I always forget, but he's from the game Star Gladiator. And Hayato actually was the only character that I could reasonably play. There's something about the swings of his saber that had me go, ah, this does damage. I'm hitting things and they're dying. He's not my favorite character at all. But he looks cool, and I could hit things with him. I could do some combos. So MVC3 next. Of course I wanted to play Zero and Dante. They are strong characters, and I later heard they are really good. Apparently they are quite high-rated characters. I'm not good at them.
I guess just because we smash each other doesn't mean we're not.
But they are strong characters.
Mario, you suck.
And then I tried out Jill. And something about Jill's gameplay just connected better. I can't really tell you what it is, but Jill moved right. So that's my Marvel vs. Capcom characters. On to Street Fighter 6. Do note, I haven't put Street Fighter 3 on here. Now, was it 3 that I played, or was it 2? Oh no, I played 2. I haven't put Street Fighter 2 characters because I was never good at the game and I just kind of played it a little. But SF6 though, I wanted to play Jamie due to having used his abilities on the World Tour mode, so I knew I would at least know some of his moves. And eventually it felt pretty good to play. Yeah. Hey, Lime. Lime and potential others that tuned in. This is a tier list of all of the main characters that I've played over the course of playing many video games. And I'm just talking about them and why I played them and how I felt about playing them. So, Cammy. After I played Jamie, I thought he's fun, but a few of his abilities are difficult for me to manage. Tammy's more straightforward, but I haven't really played enough to really get much better at her than Jamie. So there we are. On to Smash Bros. In Smash Bros 1, I played 2 characters. I played Pikachu. And in Smash Bros 1, Pikachu is very good. I'll put him at the bottom of the going nuts list. Pikachu is so damn annoying in Smash Bros 1. And boy did I utilize everything that was annoying about Pikachu. And then I thought, I want to play another character and get good at him. And I couldn't find a good character model, but I do have Yoshi here. And I kind of similar to Pikachu in how I played. Did the egg rolling around and the butt stomps a lot. That was fun. Yoshi's really fun in Smash 1. And eventually, my prayers were answered. And Mega Man got released in Smash Bros. Mega Man got released in Smash Bros. And I thought, I'm gonna play him. I'm gonna try my darndest to make him work. But I wish Mega Man in Smash felt better to play. He's a very projectile-based character, and I tried to make him work, and I think I got decent at him. But I wish I could be better at him. And then Greninja was in Smash as well. And I just played him because they were good. Greninja I managed to land a lot of hits. But I didn't really main Greninja because I wanted to. Played Greninja because it worked. And then we got Zero Suit Samus, and I'm just gonna put her all the way in the godlike tier. Zero Suit Samus is the character that makes sense to me in Smash Bros. She's fast, but she's not like too fast, like Sonic for instance. She got some nice, interesting ways of lining up insane damage with good launches. And she's got a couple of different recovery methods. I played like 90% of the forgot what it's called, the campaign, the story mode in Ultimate. Played like 90% with Zero Suit Samus. Once I unlocked it, I was like, alright, that's what I'm beating the game with. I got like all but one fight on the map done, because that last one I couldn't manage with any character. Ironically, that fight was against the Zero Suit Samus, where literally any damage would launch you off the stage. It sucked. But yeah, Zero Suit Samus is really fun. I'll actually put her over there. So now, Overwatch. There's only 3 characters that I would consider my main characters. And Mei is one of them. And I played Mei like a sniper. The freezing on the primary fire, I would use it when enemies got close. But I primarily played Mei as a sniper. And I was pretty damn good. Pretty damn good at sniping as Mei. Yeah, over here feels good. It was really fun in Overwatch. And Symmetra. Symmetra has undergone so many changes over the years. She went from being a character that I loved that was really bad, being a character that was way too strong, to being nerfed again, to being buffed again, to having a better teleporter rework, to having her ult completely changed.
Dr. Sexbang, did this really happen?
It makes it hard to break where she's at now. Although I haven't played Overwatch in a while, of course. I think I would put her right over here. Symmetra next to Sage also makes sense to me. But of course, Moira got into Overwatch eventually, and man, Moira was... Earlier I was talking about how healers designed in a way where they are absolute menaces is completely my vibe. A healer that doesn't necessarily have to heal. A healer where healing is the byproduct. That's my kind of character. And Moira was just a DPS that could also heal. Man, was she fun. Was she busted for a while as well.
Guests, please introduce yourselves and tell us the plots of your games.
A fun fact. This might sound random, but I really hate Funko Pops. However, when I was walking around the Comic-Con that one time, there was only one Funko Pop that I thought was a cool design, and that was Moira. And so I bought a singular Funko Pop. Because my Overwatch character was there, and her design on the Funko Pop did not make her look like a weird, creepy thing. So, here's Silver from Sonic Ball. That's right. This is Silver from Sonic Ball. All of the Sonic Ball characters in the normal ball category, which Silver is a part of, are exactly the same in terms of speed. There's no difference to them. But Silver got most of my Sonic Ball speedrun PBs, so I vote that as godlike. You know? When your speedrun PBs consistently get done with the same character, and not only that, but your speedrun PB on this character winds up being the second place in the world, I would personally say that that's a godlike character. There's no stat differences. But this dumbass angry ass out of his mind cracked out face managed to get me a second place spot on the speedrun leaderboard. And that counts for something.
My God, can I get a replacement guest with a simple plot, please?
Hi, I'm Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
No!
So on to One Step from Eden. Speaking of speedruns, I put two characters on here. One is Riva, because she is the waifu, and she is beautiful, and I love her. She's the first character I managed to beat the game with before I started speedrunning the game. And I beat it by just having so much health, so much armor, completely beefed up, that nothing could kill me, and that caused me to win. I would put Riva right about here. awesome paladin lady with a big ass shield. Super chunky health. Very fun. And then we find Celicy, the character that I speedrun with. And there's two reasons that I speedrun with Celicy. One is that she's very easy to get the speedrun setup going. You remove a couple of spells from your deck, you upgrade what's left, and maybe you get the clone card. And also, playing Celicy means that in all of the boss fights you're not gonna have to fight Celicy. Because the way the game works is that you play one of the characters that is a boss fight. And Celicy is a nightmare of a boss fight, especially if you have to fight her late on in the chain. So it is safe to say Celicy is on the just because they're a good character list. There's no other reason that I main Celicy in One Step from Eden. Yeah, we're coming to the end of the list. We just have Pokemon Unite and Warframe. What a thing to say back to back. So Pokemon Unite, when it came out, I played these two. At the start it was just Cinderace I played, and later on I played Greninja. They're kind of equal. I think I'm just gonna put both of them at like the bottom end of doing good. This feels better. They are virtually the same to me in terms of gameplay. Both range damage. They fill the same role. Then Scizor eventually I found out was in the game, and I bought him and I played him and I love him. And this was like bordering on going nuts. Like almost there. This is one of his abilities is a little hard to set up sometimes. Now it's Warframe's time! There's a bunch more besides these that I do play, and I do play frequently. But the ones that are on there now are the ones that I actually consider part of like my mains. At least they have been, or they currently are. Ember was my first Warframe love, and she started off way back in the day in the godlike area, because you just tap one button and everything would explode, and the game wasn't far enough in that power creep happened, so everything just kept dying. Then the game progressed and Ember stayed stagnant. She slowly went down in terms of how good she was. But then two things happened in recent years. Heat damage got completely reworked, suddenly making her into like a solid, slightly above average powered Warframe. And now the latest update makes her fucking insane again. And my heart wants her to put her in the godlike tier, but she's more like over here somewhere. She's really fucking strong now, with the latest reworks and tweaks and the damage rework of Warframe in general having happened. But she's not quite like the toppest of top. Then Harrow. And I'm afraid I'm gonna have to make one additional tier. The I wish they were better tier. Harrow is by no means a bad Warframe. Arrow is by no means bad, he's really good actually. But as a support frame, he finds himself in this weird situation where other support frames outdo him in terms of like healing or providing energy or making them harder to kill. But he still does all of those things reasonably well. He's also very capable of just staying alive himself, but he doesn't really have much damage output, and all of the other support frames do. So he's good, he's not great, and I wish that something would make him better somehow. Let's be honest, we all know Wisp is a god tier Warframe. One of the best frames in the game. It says something that even after Wisp's release, when other support frames are introduced, he still does her job the best. Nobody out-wisps the Wisp, because Wisp out-wisps everybody else. He outdoes so many other Warframes. Only one of her abilities, only a third of one of her abilities, outdoes an entire Warframe. Her first ability, her healing font, not only regenerates health way better than Oberon can, but it also gives you a lot more extra health. Which is kind of the same as the armor that Oberon can provide. Wisp is just absolutely insanely good. The only reason I wouldn't put her higher in the godlike tier is because I like these other characters more. But Wisp is very good, and I will just keep enjoying playing her, and does what I need. Gara. To put Gara up here. In my heart, she's like in the godlike tier. But I know that she requires a lot of managing to make her work. She works insanely well, but you have to pay attention. I'm going nuts when I play Gara. I'm going crazy. Things are dying, no problem. But I know for other people that Gara is a bit of a rough spot. And so mentally I'm like, I don't think I'll put her in godlike tier until a couple of minor pet peeves of mine with her have been resolved. Like her shield building up in potentially infinite damage is great. But the way that it instantly disappears if you fall down a hole or if a nullifier bubble hits you, all of the damage is gone. They need to do the same with that as they do to a Saren without her spores. Have a takedown. Don't outright remove the damage that you have. And Nova. Nova's in a very weird spot because she has some niche uses that literally nobody else can do. And there are ways of making her work reasonably well. But she's not quite... She's lacking a little bit in the damage department. So I'm gonna put Nova in the wish they were better category. She's still very good and you can do a ton of cool things with her. But she needs a little something. We need an augment that turns one of her abilities into a more damaging ability. Like, damage that happens faster. Because her problem is that while she slows other things down, her abilities also work slowly. Unless you speed up the enemy, which is one of her niche uses, but that's a weird thing. Zephyr is probably my latest main. Always gone back and forth between playing her a bit. But with the recent build I put on her, she's just basically unstoppable. It feels very weird to put her above Gara. But there's less finicky things about Zephyr. And she can just do whatever the fuck she wants. And then finally, the last one on the list, Baruch. Yeah, I'm gonna put him in the god tier as well, and like right in the middle somewhere. Baruch punches and the world explodes. If you see this guy running around holding massive weapons and he turns to you and he puts the weapon away, and that's when you shit yourself, that says something about the Warframe. He's holding a rocket launcher and he puts it down on the floor and cracks his knuckles and everything dies. And he scales beautifully in damage as well. I got him on very, very long circuit runs. Baruch is just a delight. Just beautiful. What a good Warframe. Being able to hit anything for exactly their weakness is also hilarious. No effort needed. And that's it. That's all the mains I've got listed for today. And maybe if I could think of more games and things, I would put on more icons and stuff on the list. But here we are. Primarily, the biggest category being like things I'm reasonable at but not insane. That makes sense. And then all my favorite mains up here. Some of the ones I just kind of used. Some of the ones I really enjoyed. And the things that I wish I was good at. And that's it for that part of the stream. Now it's time to think, do I want to play Warframe or do I want to play Yakuza? Right, I'll be back after making some tea at least, and then we'll figure out what I'm gonna be playing in a minute.